What is your definition of a friend?
My definition of a friend would be...
Definition of a friend.
I think a friend is...
A friend is...
My definition of a friend?
My definition of friendship.
My definition of a friend is...
someone who doesn't get annoyed when you blow your nose a lot, and someone who you can trust, and who isn't serious, like I'm so serious, and stuff like that. That's what a friend is, yay! And someone you can hug. That's what a friend is.
Psychologically speaking, we look at friendship as the mutual dynamic relationship between two people. And I think from a psychological perspective, the idea is that it's a mutual relationship. You can't really have a friendship unless it's a give and take between two parties. And then the idea that it's dynamic, that relationships change and grow and develop and they don't remain static. So from a psychological perspective, that's the big picture. I like what Aristotle said. He said that friendship is two souls, basically one soul dwelling in two bodies. So yeah, when you're that connected with somebody, and friendship can be a family member, it can be a non-family member, but being connected emotionally and psychologically and even spiritually with somebody.
A friend is honestly somebody that you can tell what's actually going on. You can be honest with, and even if they don't like your opinion, they'll still listen to you, and they will respond in an appropriate manner.
My definition of a friend is someone you can be yourself around, and you can tell them to shut up and leave you alone, and they will still love you. And they're not gonna judge you, and they're not gonna be like, oh my gosh, why are you so stupid? Well, they can say that, but no one gets offended.
A friend is someone who loves you as you are, is committed to you, and wants what is best for you.
A true friend would be somebody that is, someone that cares about you, thinks about what your interests are, and, it's reciprocal. It's kind of a thing, you share in the relationship, but there's a give and take and that kind of thing.
Across the board, friendships, one of the important key aspects of friendships is that it gives us a sense of love and belonging. And most theories of psychology, but particularly those that are geared toward the humanistic existential side of the house, really say that in order to be a fully functioning, mentally healthy person, we need relationships. We need people who value us, who are genuine with us, who love us unconditionally, and if we have those types of relationships, we're going to be psychologically healthy. Cultivating friendships really starts with being a friend before being able to access friends, and the cultivation of friendships can take many different forms, for sure, but things that can really help cultivate friendships are some of the same things that are characteristics of good quality relationships and friendships. Our honesty, forthrightness, being able to set those appropriate boundaries with one another. And I think probably the biggest thing for cultivating friendships is being real with who you are. I sometimes tell my kids and students with whom I worked, people they need to like you for who you are. And if you're always trying to be someone you're not, how are people going to get to know who you are? So I think cultivating good friendship starts with being who you are. Because if someone's going to like you for you, they need to know who you are.
My best friends have definitely strengthened me in a lot of ways, as far as that whole iron sharpen iron thing, because essentially, especially at this age, we're all going essentially through the same thing with relationships, with just life in general. And so one thing that they've helped me was just kind of understand that they're in some of the similar situations I am, just going through some of the same ups and downs, just trying to figure out what is this next step, especially me being a senior about to graduate. What is this next step as far as me working and establishing my career? What is this next step with me and my significant other as far as marriage and things like that? And so just being able to talk with them, let them know what I'm going through, and then hear whatever encouragement that they have for me. And then for me to do the same thing to them, and just kind of like iron, we're sharpening each other, we're going back and forth, feeding off of each other and things like that, sharing ideas, sharing verses, sharing scriptures and everything like that. So I think that's one thing that definitely helps, just kind of knowing that that friend, you know, knows what you're going through, and that, you know, you can kind of confide in them whenever you need. So
I think friendship involves two people who are facing a common direction, and by that I mean they aren't clones of each other, but rather than being enamored with each other, that can be a part of it, but they're standing shoulder to shoulder and they're looking out toward some common concerns, a common mission, common objectives in life, common values, but they're looking out beyond themselves.
When I think of an intimate friendship, one of the things that I appreciate the most is a person who can laugh at themselves, who can laugh with me, who can forgive me when I do silly things or say the wrong thing. I appreciate especially someone who is loyal and who supports me when others may not.
Qualities of a good friend and or friendship. Research tends to show that friendships tend to be maintained, for example, when we have common interests and a common value system. Not that we have to think completely alike and be completely, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of in sync with each other's thoughts, ideas, and values, but research definitely tends to show that the more we share in common, the more likely that friendship is to last. And then some of the psychological benefits of friendships, lots. Research shows that time and time again, having solid friendships helps with things such as, even just physiological things. It helps with lowering blood pressure, lowering stress levels. It helps increase and build, believe it or not, self-esteem and self-confidence. So there's a lot of benefits to having really good quality friendships.
A friend is someone who will go on a good road trip with you and make some memories, have a good laugh. A friend is someone with whom you can share a project. A friend is someone who is going to tell you what to do, and then you'll go along with it because you care about them and you trust that they care about you, or something like that. So there's a sense of mutuality. Do you agree?
Yeah. Friend is there for you in sickness and in health. Scout's honor.
My definition of a friend is someone who I can trust, and someone who understands me, understands what I want, and we feed off of each other in different areas of life.
A friend usually has really terrible jokes, and you laugh at them anyways. And usually you get sick of them when you're around them for a very long time, but you still look back on the times and they're like really fun.
Over time, you know, I read an article recently that said our group of friends is going to grow and change and develop at least 3 different times in our lives. We have our friends, and this is for people who kind of stay in the same location and go to the same public middle school and high school. This really doesn't apply to people who move a lot, but you've got your core group of friends that you probably met as a child and an adolescent, and that's probably going to change a little when you get to college. And not just because geography changes and you go different directions, but because needs change, because people grow and because people develop. So part of maintaining friendships, if you want to maintain those childhood friendships, is being willing to be flexible with each other and understanding that things as people get married, if you have some single friends and some married friends, that's going to change the nature of the relationship. Once your married friends start having kids, that changes the ballgame. So we've got friends in childhood and adolescence, and then you've got like your early and middle adult years. And then as you grow older, friendships change, in large part because as adults age, friends unfortunately start dying, and you start losing friends to death. and things like that. So friendships can definitely change over time, if nothing else because geography changes and we move out of state. But a lot of it has to do with just changes in growing and developing as people. Not that you can't maintain those friendships, but there needs to be flexibility there if you're going to be able to do that.
Friends have allowed me to be a better person. They've challenged me in areas that I try to hide and lock away, that I don't want to address up front. Just having someone hold you accountable for doing things that you say you're going to do has helped me out tremendously. Spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, it's been great.
I wasn't naturally a good friend kind of person, and so now I think just in general I understand friendship a lot more than I used to. So now, I'm more considerate about what the other person might need or what they're going through. So I just have an additional, awareness to think through. I think I'm not a great friend, but I think I'm a smarter friend than I used to be as far as being able to consider what the other person needs and what's beneficial to them and that kind of thing, and thinking from that rather than just a selfish, I like hanging out with you because it's fun for me kind of thing, but how can I be a good friend to you as well?
A friend is someone who, even though they said to meet at 6 o'clock and at 6:50 you call and you find out that they're eating supper with their whole family and you didn't say, you still love them and you have patience with them because that's what friends are for.
Okay, I will describe my friendship with Lily. All right, a friend is willing to give you a sponge bath, especially after you have been cleaning out a horse stall for cheap labor.
Well, a friend is someone that sticks closer than a brother, which would mean your friend would be someone a lot better than me, because I'm your brother.